Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a fantastic start. Today, I want to go over with you the inspections and services disclosure. This is different from the professional services disclosure, which is a standard North Carolina form. This document is something that we created internally to help our agents with their buyers. It's a great form for you to review as it will point some things out to you and maybe give you some language that you can use as you talk to your clients. But it's really a great form to provide to your buyer clients at the very beginning of a transaction. And let's say you're trying to convert an online lead, you've met them at a house to show them the first property. This is a great value add document that you can provide to that buyer to help show them your expertise and build rapport with them. So this is really a great form, and it's not meant to scare buyers. It's meant to educate them. And it's also meant to remove some of the liability and pressure from you as the agent. Because let's face it, there's a lot of information that can be uncovered about a property or about the area surrounding a property. And it can be difficult to always remember every single thing that you should be discussing with the buyer. This form helps you walk through with the buyer different considerations they should have when making a home purchase. And I'm just going to go through very quickly, touch on a few things. This is not a required document. I want to reiterate that, but we do have many agents who do in fact have all of their buyers sign this document just as evidence that they provided this information to them so that the buyer can't come back later and suggest that the agent didn't do their job of explaining different options to them. So there are different property specific things here. So if we look at, we're talking about a survey and why the buyer should want to have a survey, and the fact that we recommend that they have a survey. That's an important piece of this. Home warranties, school attendance assignments. We're letting them know that school assignments can change and that if it's important to them, that they should be calling the school or county to verify the assignments, and also pointing out the fact that those assignments can change from year to year. So you can see how having these conversations with buyers can be very helpful in preparing them for making a home purchase decision, but also clues them in on different things they should be thinking about. So the stuff on this first page, you're probably pretty familiar with. But now we get into things like radon, lead-based paint, polybutylene pipes, asbestos, mold, synthetic stucco, underground storage tanks. There's lots of stuff here that a buyer may want to consider. And keep in mind, not everything is important to every buyer. But buyers should be educated on what options they have, and they should be educated on what things they should be considering so that they can make the decision on whether it's important to them or not. This form, while it may not be all inclusive of everything a buyer may consider, there certainly is a really great list here for things for them to start thinking about. And again, it also helps you go through this list and make sure that you're touching on important hot point buttons for any specific buyer. Okay, aluminum wiring, septic systems, community wells versus private wells. And we're encouraging them to have an appraisal even if they're paying cash. Unpermitted improvements on the home, right? These are all hot button topics we know have come up before. This is just a great format for you to be able to discuss this with them. And here's another great one, insurance availability and affordability. So you're encouraging them to talk to an insurance provider, maybe before even making an offer, to make sure that there's no issue that would cause an unaffordability issue with insurance on any particular property. Then we get into some external influences, including aircraft noise, road and highway projects. Those are always evolving. And so again, we've got to put some of the burden onto the buyer. They're making the purchase. They also need to be researching these things. This does not remove any responsibility from you to discover and disclose items, but this now gives that buyer more information and really empowers that buyer. Railroad tracks. Vacant land that's in proximity to a house they're buying, because that vacant land may get developed into a shopping center. And that's information that a buyer should know. And you as a listing agent should be discovering. If you see land that looks like maybe it's primed to be developed, you should be discovering what that potential land use is and helping that buyer decide, is that something that impacts their decision to buy the house or not? Now, we do provide at the bottom of this an opportunity for the buyer to sign. Again, not required, but I strongly encourage you to make this part of your initial buyer consultation. If it was me, I would be having buyers sign this, but at a minimum, just provide it to them, send it through email, give them a hard copy. That way they can start reading through, researching it, and it's a great opportunity for you to convey your expertise and your value as a real estate agent beyond just opening doors. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions with it, please put it in the remarks below. Or if you use this with your buyer clients now, make a comment below. Agents would love to hear what your experience has been. If you have questions, please reach out. Until next time, take care.